poppin'? It's your boy Scubar here with week 3 of the FDL, the Fun Draft League. This week we are against Loafus of the Sableknights. So as we're just getting into the battle here and everything, just a few disclaimers. First of all, where's week 2? I forgot to press record against week 2, so I'll talk to Jordan to see if I can use his Twitch VOD video as a YouTube video, and might have that up as a later date. And then spoilers for this video, it goes to game 3 as you can tell by how long this video is so far, so no team preview for this week, but yeah. So we are against Loafus of the Sableknights. If you haven't watched Loafus's video already for his side of it, I recommend you do. It's a great video, very entertaining. He's got a team consisting of Urshifu, Single Strike, Spectrier, Enamorous Incarnate, Sandy Shocks, Slowking Galar, Jumpluff, Cinderace, Berserker, Vulpix, Toxapex, and Barraskewda. Versus our team, we're the Jellicent Jams, Iron Hands, Ferrograph, Blastrier, Empoleon, Toxicroak, Gardevoir, Moltres, Dragalge, Banette, Cacturne, and Woodward. So you can see this week, if you just caught in previously before, during the team selection, I'm bringing Iron Hands, Ferrograph, Blastrier, Toxicroak, Gardevoir, and Banette this week. Banette, this is the first time Banette and Gardevoir are coming, so we welcome them onto the squad. And just, yeah, so then as we go into the matchup here, I see he's got Urshifu, Slowking Galar, Cinderace, Sandy Shocks, Vulpix, and Enamorous. So he's got his Sun mode with the Vulpix and everything that's going to help both his Cinderace and his Sandy Shocks. And then I noticed that the only Mon on his team that gets Imprisoned Trick Room is the Slowking Galar, which is here. So what I'm running this week is my own Imprisoned Trick Room on the Ferrograph, because the Ferrograph is faster, has a higher base speed than the Slowking Galar, so my plan was to be able to imprison his Imprison first, then be able to go Trick Room on the next turn. You can see we're safety goggles here because I was worried about the Jumpluff coming with Sleep Powder putting me to sleep, but you can see we don't have, there's not the Jumpluff here this week, so we don't need that and everything. Hoffin is kind of designed for the Spectrier, which again didn't come as well this week. Choice Scarf Glastrier, and yeah, Toes, you know, Toes goes what Toes normally does. Normal Booster Energy, Iron Hands, and an Assault Vest Glastrier here, yeah. So I decide I want to go my standard lead and everything. Booster Iron Hands, and Ferrograph to lead off with Glastrier in the back, and then my Choice Scarf Glastrier as cleanup and everything. Yeah, the net doesn't come this week, but it was a Terra Fairy for the Urshifu, rocking Shadow Claw, Knockoff, Terra Blast, and Trick Room. I had 3 Trick Room setters this week, including Toes, the Toxicroak, so I was like, Trick Room is getting off somehow. Anyway, getting into game 1 here, I lead Iron Hands Ferrograph, he leads Slowking Galar and Urshifu. So, I am worried about a Covert Cloak here on one of these mods, and B, I just know the Slowking's here, so he's gonna go for the Imprisoned Trick Room, and I really want Glastrier Ferrograph to stay in, so I burst the Terra here, turn on Terra Fairy, so that way if he decides to stay in with this Urshifu and go for a Wicked Blow of some sorts, I'll be able to take it and everything, because I really wanted this Imprison going off. He actually withdraws the Urshifu here to go out into Sandy Shocks, which I'm like, alright, that's fine, that's a little bit more threatening versus my Iron Hands, because an Earth Power, especially without the Assault Vest, an Earth Power just won't get KOs. So I burned the Terra here to 1 with the Terra Fairy, because you just saw it, Psychic, Dazzling Boom, Imprisoned Trick Room was my set. And yes, we are faster than the Slowking, so we get our Imprison off first. And you can see the Slowking can't use their Imprison. I imprisoned the Trick Room Imprison. I was really proud about that one. and I just get a solid amount of damage off into the Sandy Shocks. I'm like, alright, we're in a good position here, but Iron Hands cannot take a Earth Power that's coming in for the life of me from this Sandy Shock. So I gotta switch out into Glass Spear to take it. I don't want to switch into Gardevoir because I'm not choice card when I'm setting up Trick Room now. So I go in, yes, we go into the Assault Vest Glass Spear. Earth Power comes out exactly as I predicted. It does a little bit more damage than I would have liked, but then I see it's Life Orb, so that goes back. And the Psy Shock comes out. Great call not going Psychic, because that hits the defensive side of both my Iron Hands and my Glass Spear. So, and I get the Trick Room up. So I'm like, alright, I'm feeling good. I've got Glass Spear and Fergraph in Trick Room. Step 1 is done. Now I'm just thinking about what I want to do here. The Trailblaze. Who was the Trailblaze for? The Trailblaze was for, I guess, if they just tear water or something, or if they could, but anyways, yeah, just go for the high horsepower. I didn't want this Slowking having a poison move and everything, and I just realized like it was a lot of damage. Plus, I thought he might protect or switch out the Sandy Shocks, so I double up into the Slowking. 2 super effective moves to get knocked out, but he stayed in with the Sandy Shocks. So I could have gone for the KO there, and he just Thunderbolts my Once-Fail. Not my Once-Fail, my Glass Spear. So we even up the score 3-3. And I'm like, alright, that's not the, you know, I've lost a good amount of damage with my Glass Spear, but I think Iron Hands and Fergraph will be able to clean it up here. So back comes out the Iron Hands and everything. I don't have my booster anymore. That's, no biggie, no big deal. He still outputs a lot of damage. And I'm like, yeah, so I want to go for the Ice Punch, because I go for the Ice Punch instead of the Wild Charge because I was worried about the Terra Ground. I know when I used my Enamorous Therian in my other league, Terra Ground was a very common choice I put on it and everything. And I knew just any move would be able to take out the Sandy Shocks with Fergraph, so I wasn't worried about that, but yeah, no, I go for Ice Punch instead of the Wild Charge here, trying to predict the Terra Ground. But he just goes for, I believe, it was a double protect with the both of them. Just stalling out, turn a Trick Room, fine, great play, you know, nothing I can really do against that. I reveal the Ice Punch there, and yeah. So I reveal probably all 4 my moves, because he knows I gotta have Fake Out. Well, I didn't reveal Fake Out on the first turn, and nor did I reveal it this turn, so he doesn't actually know that I have Fake Out, but I'm just like, yeah, now he sees that I had Ice Punch, so and yeah, I just go for the Dazzling Gleam again. The Dazzling Gleam should pick up the Sandy Shocks, and it also covers for the Urshifu switch in. And then, yeah, exactly. I don't think this gets revealed later in the match, but when we shared Team Pace after, he showed me that he was Walk-On Berry for the Electric type move on the Enamorous, so he was a little upset he didn't get to show that all, but again, that's great for him. Out comes the Terra from his side, and it's Terra Electric. Now, I thought that's a really great call, because it resists the Electric type move that's coming out. I feel that would come out, but yeah, and everything, and it doesn't make him weak to the Ice type like last year with Terra Ground, so you get a solid amount of damage off. Fergraph picks up kills KO for 2, and they just go for a Play Rough, which does a sizable amount of the damage and everything, which does a hefty amount. It's definitely a 2-hit KO. But I don't need to worry about Sucker Punch with the Urshifu that comes in because I got the Armor Tail. So I still got 1 turn Trick Room. So they can go for a double protect here, and then I was worried I might be a little bit of I've already seen protect from the Enamorous, so I wanted to see if the Urshifu had the protect or not and everything, so that's why I just get the Dazzling Gleam and the Drain Punch. The Enamorous protects, and then it's revealed that the Urshifu does not have protect, so I'm glad I made this call and everything. Yeah, I wanted to see if it has it or not. Just a Drain Punch, huge amount of damage, restore a lot of that HP we just lost in Play Rough, and yep, here comes the Dazzling Gleam that obviously, well, it would have been a 1-hit KO, except, again, I don't know if this gets revealed later in the match, but the Urshifu is Focus Sash, so it's a good, I didn't know this at the time, but so it's a good thing I did double up on the Urshifu there. Trick Room ends, but that's pretty much okay, because I still have Gardevoir in the back that I haven't really looked at with the Choice Scarlet. On top of, I don't know how the Namorous can do this much damage. So he goes for Play Rough onto the Farigiraf. From his video, I learned that he just wanted to see how much damage he does. I thought he would have gone onto the Iron Hands to take the KO. But yeah. So everybody, that's where he learned. I'm like, yeah, fully bulk. I believe this is a 252 defense HP. Yeah, this is a fully bulk for Graph. Yeah, 252 HP, 252 defense, 4 special defense, full nature. Yeah, bulky for a Graph. So I'm like, all right, game one, won and everything. But again, I'm like, I can't step off the gas here yet because you know, because I still need to win one more game and everything. And like I said at the beginning of the video, spoilers, this does go to a 3-game banger, so hope you're in for the long one. And yeah, I'm just thinking, I'm really here, I'm thinking about if I want to change up anything. The Urshifu wasn't really a problem, so I don't feel like I, especially as with my Terra Fairy on the Farigiraf, so I don't feel like I necessarily need Hoffman, the net for the Terra Fairy there. And again, yeah, just like I didn't really see. I mean, I only used 3 Mons, but especially with the double fire, I just don't know. I wasn't really feeling the Totsubo. I don't feel like I really needed the Rage Powder or the Spore support, and rather I felt more confident with the revenge cleanup from Gardevoir coming in at the end here. So I think I literally, yeah, this is the same. Yeah, Iron Hands Farigiraf in the lead with Glastrier. Farigiraf in the back, and I'm like, because I want to see how he adapts this game, see what he does here. And yeah, so we haven't seen. So he did bring the Cinderace, and he didn't bring the Vulpix last game. So he might bring his Sun mode now. And again, we are Terra Dragon on the Mudsdale here. For again, because I didn't want to be Terra Water and then be weak to the electric moves from the Sandy Shock, so I figured Terra Ground would actually be the best as a fire resist and not really be weak to anything else. I mean, yes, I'm weak to an Namorous, but if an Namorous wants to be in versus a Glastrier, again, it's got a Terra. And even if it does Terra, then yeah, you saw Glastrier has both Icicle Crash and High Punch power for it. So, alright, game 2, here we go. He changes up the lead this time. He leads Sandy Shock's Cinderace. We haven't seen the Cinderace, so I don't know what it can do yet versus my Iron Hands and Farigiraf. So here, it definitely am revealing the Fake Out this time because yes, the Sandy Shocks absolutely with an Earth Power will one-hit KO my Iron Hands, no question about it. Especially it being Life Orb as well. So yeah, that's why I go for the Fake Out onto the Sandy Shocks here, and I also know it's Life Orb, so I don't have to worry about a Cobra Cloak. We don't see it the rest of the match, but spoilers, the Cobra Cloak was on the Galarian Slowking. That was, yeah, smart to, again, because he predicted I was going to Fake Out him and then go for the Trick Room. But I imprisoned the Imprison, so it's an interesting switch here. Out comes Vulpix into for the Cinderace and everything. Set up the Sandy Shock's Photosynthesis. So now it especially wouldn't be taking an Earth Power from that. But yeah, so I just go for the Earth Power and I get up the Trick Room. And I'm like, nice. Alright, we're feeling good. Feeling better about this. So now, yeah, I'm thinking, what do I want to do? Again, the Sandy Shocks is absolutely a threat. I don't feel like I necessarily want to switch out into Glastrier because A, the Vulpix is up, and B, yeah, I'd be wasting my booster energy, and I also don't want to Terra on the Iron Hands because I don't know if you saw, but I have Terra Grass on the Iron Hands. So while that would help for the ground type, it would make me weak to the double fire types he's already shown. So I just go for the Ice Punch into the Sandy Shocks, and was it a Psychic into the Vulpix or a Dazzling Gleam? But either way, yeah, he makes a great switch into the Cinderace, ridiculous, since I revealed the Ice Punch last game. And I go for the Psychic now into the Vulpix, and it just does good amount of damage. We got the special effect stop. And great move on the Vulpix. He burns my Iron Hands. I'm like, nice. That's really smart. That's one of actually the first problems I've dealt with here in my FDL on how people are going to handle my both Iron Hands and Glash Gear is with Will-O-Wisp burns. So that was a great move on the Vulpix here. And now I'm like, alright, I'm predicting the Protect. So that's why I do this. Because I'm like, the Cinderace is probably going to Protect. Stall out these turns to trip me. I get the Wild Charge, so that's why I double into the, what was the Vulpix spot. I didn't even consider the thought that the Urshifu would come in to tank the Psychic. And you can see the Pyro Ball comes out from the Cinderace. They didn't go for the Protect. So great read by Loafus there. That was a great play. And yeah, now he's just really playing mind game. Now he knows I have the Psychic and the Dazzling Beam. So, again, so now that I'm like, since he didn't have Protect, or just he didn't show Protect that last turn, maybe he doesn't have Protect, and the Urshifu hasn't revealed Protect. So it's like, so I'm just gonna Dazzling Gleam, and because it's gonna at least force out the Terra, or at least gonna force out the Switch. And you see it forces out the Switch. It goes back out into the Vulpix here. Yeah, exactly, now to take the resisted Fairy type move. Again, so no Protect again on the Cinderace. But you see both resisted on the dual fire types. Yeah, just the Cinderace was. I mean, well, Cinderace isn't that bulky. It was the burn. It was a great burn on my Iron Hands because that just completely negates so much damage. And he really read me well there, predicting the Dazzling Beam on Urshifu, so coming back in with the Vulpix and everything. So, in hindsight, there, seeing how this game should have goes. I should have Psychic the Cinderace there, but if the Cinderace did Protect there, that would be pretty bad. So, I've got Glastrier, and now I've got a few more turns of Trick Room left and everything. And I'm just like, yeah, I need to get rid of this Vulpix before it now burns my Glastrier. So the high horsepower is, I was gonna say, do I not go for the high horsepower? What do I do here? Drain Punch the Cinderace, yeah, and I go for the high horsepower on Vulpix, that's right, yeah. So Vulpix reveals Protect here. That's fine. So now I know it's Will-O-Wisp, Protect, an attacking move, and the Cinderace finally reveals Protect. So great, yeah. Excuse me, just great playing Loafus here this game too. So he sees the high horsepower come out, and the Drain Punch, yeah, come out into double Protect. Sunlight fades. Oh, and I was gonna say, no, and I still have one more turn of Trick Room. Yeah, we didn't see the Trick Room one. So now, alright, it's the last. Oh no, it's just, yeah, this is alright. So he scouted out the last turn of Trick Room. Yeah, so I was like, great move. So now I'm in a little bit of a pickle. Not necessarily, but he's got the speed out to with the Cinderace, and the Sandy Shocks, and the Urshifu, and I did not bring. I only brought one of my 3 Trick Room setters. So here's where I reveal the Terra Dragon on the Glastrier, again just because I know the fire type moves coming out. And yeah, oh yes, and so I go for the Ice Crash here because I predict the Sandy Shocks to come in for the Vulpix. Hindsight 2020, I still should have just high horsepower here because it still would have been super effective. Not stab, but super effective versus the Sandy Shocks. But he actually makes a great switch of switching out the Cinderace for the Sandy Shocks and everything. And I was actually, and so yeah, so the Vulpix being the fastest thing on the field now, ironically, they get the Will-O-Wisp off. Again, just a great call. So I'm really gonna have to be mindful of that as counters to these two in the future of what can get Will-O-Wisp. You can just see, yeah, even with the boost, like Iron Hands hasn't switched out yet. It's still got the booster energy up, and it's just not doing anything. And yeah, so I guess I didn't necessarily need to go for that read right there at the Sandy Shocks. I could have just high force power because it still would have been a lot of damage either way. But yeah, so I've revealed the Terra Dragon here. He is yet to reveal a Terra. And so, I'm just like, alright, yeah, let's try to just, you know, just slowly chip away at these guys and everything so they don't be super effective moves. And then ideally get into a position where Gardevoir can come and clean up at the end. Because I can take one Sucker Punch from the Urshifu. And I outspeed, so I don't need to worry about a looking low. And I've already broken, I didn't notice at the time, but I've already broken the Focus Sash, so. Out comes the Urshifu here. Earth Power comes out. Yeah, adios, Iron Hands, just one hit KO. Well, not a one hit KO, but you can just see it is a one hit KO, yeah. Especially without the Assault Vest, so. I get the return trade, yeah, I was gonna say, I get the trade onto the Glass Druid there with the Icicle Crash. So now it's what, 3-2? Yes, and everything. Yes, 3-2. He still got him one up on me. And now it's for the first time this match we're revealing the Gardevoir. Blue is my favorite color, if you can't tell by the Jellicent hands. So, absolutely should have. Yeah, so that's why it's a shiny Gardevoir. And now as a Ceasing Some Choice Scarf, I'm in a little bit of a. First of all, again, tracing the Unforeseen Fist is nice because now they can't protect with either of their mons. But I'm like, yeah, listen, I'm like, if he's got a Terra, yeah, I realize he hasn't Terra yet, but I'm like, if he's got a Terra, yes, Terra, and everything. Most Urshifus I've gone against in draft, or at least Urshifu Single Strike, have been Terra Poison. At least that's what it was in the VGC as well as what Coach Dylan was. So out comes the Terra here. And it's Terra Poison to resist the fairy. So now, this is where I realized between the Burn, Blastoise, and my Gardevoir, this is not looking too hot because I've now locked myself to death. There's 3 things I resist. Out comes the Poison Jab. I could have tried to predict that and go for the Psychic, but if I had just but if he didn't Terra, I just would have been in a pickle. And out comes a really interesting move here, is the Memento, the Vulpix, to not only negate my Chilling Day boost, but also bring me down to -1. And I think that -1 actually matters here, because you can see that the Urshifu lives. So I think that was actually a great call from Loafus, having that Memento there. Because I think, especially with my +1, that would have KO'd the Urshifu here, and then there's no way the Cinderace would have been able to one-hit KO my Terra Dragon Blastoise. But because it's a 2v1 now, yeah, and both of these things outspeed, I'm like, I'm going to be taking 3 hits here from his mons, on top of burn damage, and Blastoise is bulky. Blastoise just got that natural focus. This one was 252 HP, but yeah. I don't know if he's that bulky, so out comes the Pyro Ball, the Poison Jab. I get the return KO, I get the KO onto the Urshifu. That crit clearly did not matter. And yeah. So now it's a 1v1, but again I take burn damage here. And I'm like, alright, like the way I win this is if Power Ball misses here, because I think even a Power Ball in the sun would, even though it's resisted, I think it will do. I didn't see how much it did last time, but I can't imagine it does less than like 30 damage. So I'm like, alright, basically I'm relying on a Power Ball miss here, or we're going to a game 3 kind of deal. But he makes actually the really smart call, just doesn't even risk the Power Ball missing. Goes for the Libero U-turn. Now that not being resisted, just being neutral, is definitely enough to pick up the Blastoise there. So a really close game 2 and everything, you can see just that literally that Cinderace needed one more attack. If I was able to just get off one more attack, I would have been able to take that game. Or if I had Psychicked earlier instead of Gas and Gleam on both Farigiraf and Gardevoir, be in a different situation. But I'm like, alright. Game 3, best of 1. Just like we're in ladder. I'm like, here we go, except to kind of know some stuff and everything. So, I'm thinking about how I want to change this up and everything. What I want to do to make things differently. Again, I don't think I need Toad's Roll, nor do I need the net. I'm really confident. I think I've got the right floor and everything. But I want to actually, and I see he didn't actually lead with the Slowbro this time. So I don't think I need to worry about necessarily having a fake out up on turn 1, especially because I've seen he's just switched both times for a fake out switch, like just trying to nullify the fake out. But so I decided to lead, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I want Iron Hands in the back as the cleanup this time instead of Farigiraf, or not Farigiraf, Glastrier, where it's usually that his duty, or I guess his duty. Glastrier is control button. Yeah, so you can see I lead here the Farigiraf Glastrier with Iron Hands in the back and Gardevoir then as cleanup. Again, because now he didn't bring the Enamorus, he didn't bring the Slowking Galar. I'm expecting the same 4 of Urshifu, Cinderace, Sandy Shops, and Vulpix. So the Sun mode seemed to be a lot better. That Vulpix honestly was that MVP last game. Getting the 2 Will-O-Wisps off, having the Sun up, and that Memento. Because honestly, without that Memento, I think I would have knocked out the Urshifu there. I mean, I still would have then left in a 2v1, but Vulpix is not going to do any damage versus a Terra Dragon last year. So I would have then just gone into the Cinderace and then just slowly whittled down the Vulpix. So out comes the Sun mode here. Vulpix and Cinderace versus my Eminem's Nightmare and Ice Mudsdale. So obviously, being an Ice type out, I've got to burn the Terra here. I've got to burn. There's no way. I don't know. I mean, maybe I live a Pyro Ball in the Sun, but if I do, obviously I would have been in like red HP, and that would have been really bad. So I've got, and plus the Terra Dragon I felt actually did do a lot of damage. Well, not a lot of damage, but it did carry a lot of weight last game, being resisted to those fire type moves. So again, same thing. Game 1 and Game 3, I just have to burn my Terra on turn 1. But you know, it is what it is. And everything, yeah, so thank God I did burn the Terra right there. Because you see, they did go for Fireball. And they go for the Will-O-Wisp, so that's, again, Glastrier's completely kind of neutralized now. But again, I didn't really have a switch in for the Will-O-Wisp because I didn't bring Moltres this week. And I didn't want to bring in Gardevoir versus when I set up Trick Room. So I get the Trick Room up and everything, but I've now got the burned Glastrier. So again, so here's what I do. So I'm like, I should have learned from the previous game and everything. I was like, the Cinderace is like, he's got to protect here. I was like, and especially since he's revealed that he protects now. I'm like, so he's got to protect. I'm like, let me just, and I'm like, you know what, I don't want his Vulpix around to be A, getting another Memento off, and B, burning my Iron Hands late game cleanup. So he actually withdraws the Vulpix here into the Urshifu. I don't know if he was, if he read the double up and everything, or just, actually, I do remember his video, but, props to him there for, making that read and everything. So the Pyro Ball comes out, obviously the Psychic and the resisted higher horsepower do nothing to the Urshifu, and I'm just like, shoot, I've lost a lot of momentum that turn. And I'm like, to be back in this game, I'm like, I gotta go for the read here. I'm like, I didn't go for the read last game, kind of cost me and everything. I'm like, he's got a Terra Poison here, I'm expecting him to gas in the game, because that's what I did last time. So so I'm gonna predict. So I predicted that he's Terra Poison, and because if he didn't Terra Poison and I got 2 turns in a row a Psychic into a Dark type, that would have been really bad. But he does Terra Poison, and I'm glad I got that right. So now he goes to the Protect on the Rays, which I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's no biggie. Because also now I've broken the Focus Sash, so I don't need to worry about that on the Urshifu. Again, it never gets revealed. I only learned this post game that it was Focus Sash. But I was so happy here. I got this. I got that call right. I got that read right. Because it now got rid of his Terra and it got rid of the Urshifu. So I was very, very relieved to see that Terra there. Because again, if I had Psychicked into a Dark type twice, like him predicting that, or I don't know what, or just me expecting me to not go for the Dazzling Gleam, that could have really bad. But yeah, alright, so it's now it's 4-3. I've gotten rid of this Terra when I still have my Terra. My Terra is burned, but the Terra's up, which is very nice. So he just protected on the Cinderace, so I know that's a free double up into that slot. And you can actually see right here. Okay, so I've got 2 turns of Trick Room left, and I know the Sandy Shocks does have Protect. So I think we're actually going to take the next 30 seconds here, because I'm running the calc on how much a Psychic does versus the Cinderace. And if I pull it up right here, yeah, so 0 special attack for a Grass Psychic versus 0 HP, 0 special defense Cinderace does 45.1 to 54.1%. So I'm looking at this Cinderace HP, and I'm like, I don't know if this is good. I'm like, it's a roll on whether it picks up or not. And everything. I don't know if this picks up. Again, so they go for the Protect on the Sandy Shocks. And to guarantee the crit there, I go for the to guarantee the KO there, I get a crit. And my apologies, Loafus, I didn't mean this message in bad terms or anything. I really meant it as like as an apology. I was like, I sent him the damage calc, and I was like, that crit might have mattered, as in like, as if that crit didn't happen, there's a chance that the Cinderace lives there, and he gets my Glash, or he gets my, I assumed he was going for a Pyro Ball into my first round, so I'm sorry if that came across in bad taste. But yeah, last turn of Trick Room here, I just basically, again, Sandy Shocks, just protected, so I know this spot is free from here. So close to picking up the KO, but again, this burn is just coming in so much clutch, and the flinch right there is just rubbing in the salt. As the sun wears off, the Trick Room wears off, and everything, and this thing's Life Orb, so the next time it attacks, it's gonna go down, which is a shame because I wanted to, get the KO stats instead of Sandy Shocks getting it, but it is what it is. And then having just a Vulpix left versus all of my mons, I'm feeling pretty good about it and everything. But so. Gets the Earth Power off, I live on 6 HP there. Life Orb takes out the Sandy Shocks. It's really bummed for here after you get the KO there, but it is what it is. For I go for the Trick Room, so the Vulpix outspeed, and actually the Vulpix picks up the double KO with the Heat Wave. So I was kind of proud of the Vulpix there. I was like, go Vulpix. Because when the hell do you see a Vulpix in VGC, and especially it picking up 2 KOs. So, but anyways, yeah, out comes the Iron Hands here, and my Choice Scarf Gardevoir. I traced the Drought, so I set the sun back up for it, but it's no biggie. It's a Vulpix, so it's not going to be doing any damage to these two. So, but yeah, I mean, really, the thing that brought me into this game through here was that Psychic read onto the Terra Poison Urshifu. I think if I had gotten that turn wrong, or if I had Dazzling Gleam, or if he did a Terra, I would have just continued to lose any momentum. Right, I just wouldn't have had any momentum, but that turn right there really swung things around. And yeah, so he goes for the protect into my fake out and just delaying the inevitable. That's fine. So yeah, so I go for the psychic here and everything. He goes for the heat wave. Does what's that? 30 and some damage to each, but and then yeah, and then just Iron Hands picks up the KO here with the Drain Punch. So GG's to Loafus and the Sableknights. Again, lots of reading back and forth on each other's end, and yeah. No, I feel like you played really well. You prepped really well. Your team is definitely scary. I'm glad I've gotten both the Sun teams out of the way for this draft now. So now I've got 2 more Snow teams and a Rain team to go against. But yeah, GG's to Loafus again. This was a really fun match. I really did have fun with this. We're 3-0 in the FDL so far, and next week we are against Coach Ted. Again, yes, the same Ted that beat me in the BBDL with and he's the Meteor Shower Dragon Bolts. He has a team of Excalibur, Abomasnow, Talonflame, Tinkaton, Basque Legion Female, Muckalola, Electros, Articuno, Great Tusk, Bruxish, and Nasselstat. So, yeah, we'll catch you then for week 4, Scubar and the Jellicent Jams. Over and out.